What's up, poppin'? It's your girl Jazzy J. How y'all doing today? I look tired. It's because I am. I just woke up. But we got hair tips that we need to know about. So let's get into it. Oh, right. Today's Thursday. I'm obviously doing this at the last minute. But on Thursdays we have hair tip day where I give you little tips that I wish I knew when becoming natural and things that I found out along the way. Today's video is going to be about hair porosity, which I've stated in my last 2 hair videos about why it is so important and why your curl pattern is not. So I should probably address that, not just leave it in the air. So a quick little definition of porosity. My words. So don't quote the dictionary or anything. Porosity is the natural porous nature of your hair. And basically, just imagine the pores on your skin except in your hair shaft, and these holes allow for moisture to enter or exit freely. Now if you have more holes open, then you fall in the high porosity. If you have a decent amount, you fall in the normal, and if you have a low amount, then you fall in the low porosity category. Me personally, I'm low porosity. Depending on your porosity level, there are different things that you have to do to make sure that your hair is healthy. Before I get started into the different types of porosity, y'all should probably figure out what porosity level you are, so that you could take notes and do some research and find the best way to care for your hair. It's really simple. Take like an end piece of your hair, just a tiny little piece. You don't need a lot, like maybe an inch of one strand, maybe. Put it into a glass of water. Doesn't matter how deep, just a glass of water, preferably the glass is like somewhat clear. If your hair strand sinks to the bottom immediately, you are high porosity. If it slowly takes its time sinking down and kind of settles in the middle, you're normal porosity. And if it stays on top for hours on end and it's not going anywhere, you're low porosity. Okay, back to the tips. Low porosity. Some of the characteristics of it are your hair takes forever to get wet, and it takes a blue moon for it to dry. It's so long. Another characteristic, product buildup is real. Oftentimes, when I have used a heavy-duty oil combination, like as a sealant, if I've steamed my hair or conditioned my hair, and then I just want something just stay on top so it can permeate, it's gonna stay there. It's not gonna go into your hair shaft like you want it to do unless you're doing the greenhouse treatment, which is I can get into that later, but it's the product buildup. It is real. You'll probably also notice with low porosity hair, a lot of people will say protein treatments are great for your hair. You probably tend to notice when you have protein rich conditioners and shampoos and treatments, your hair comes out drier than it was before. There is a reason for that. Protein is naturally a molecule that fills in the gaps. So if your hair has a small amount of gaps going down the pores or going down the cuticles, and you use a protein treatment, any pores or cuticles that you have open, you're shoving it with protein. So now the little holes that you have become a solid iron wall. There is no moisture getting in anymore, not until that protein treatment is gone. Using regular heavy-duty oils, also known as humectants, not a low porosity's best friend. Not at all. Because your goal is to get as much moisture into your hair as possible and retain that moisture. Retaining is very easy for low porosity because there's no place for it to go with the little amount of holes, but getting in is the difficult part. For me personally, steaming is my best friend. The greenhouse effect is also my best friend. I actually have a mini portable steamer. Yeah, I just died for a second. But anyway, I have a mini portable steamer. If y'all are interested, I can drop the link in the comments. I got it on Amazon. I think it was, when I got it, about $30 to $40. It really wasn't too bad. It comes with a little face steamer attachment and a hair steamer attachment. I find it nice. Yeah. And the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect, if you don't have a steamer and you don't have steamer money, then what you're going to do is wet your hair, put a conditioner into it, and then you're going to put on a shower cap, a disposable one, a scarf, any scarf you have. I have a few scarves just dedicated to my hair, so if something happens, it's fine. And then you're going to put on a winter cap and you're going to go to bed. And basically what's going to happen is the heat from your scalp naturally is going to rise and get trapped within everything you got going on, which means the cuticles or the pores in your hair are naturally just going to open up. All the ones that are closed are just going to open up. So any moisture that's within the surrounding area is automatically going to go into your hair shaft. Then when you wake up in the morning, if you have any extra product that you don't want to worry about, you can go ahead and just wash it off. You'll be good. Best friend for low porosity anti-humectants. They are products that take moisture from the surrounding area and draw it into your hair. So a good one is vegetable glycerin, and I use that a lot. When I make my hair gels, I use vegetable glycerin because, first of all, gels are better for me anyway. Anything water-based is the best way to go for a low porosity hair, simply because you're trying to get as much moisture in your hair as possible. If you've got water sitting on top of your hair so your hair can slowly suck it in, that's what you want. But for I'm dying. Wow. For the vegetable glycerin, if you don't want to worry about doing a gel every single day, you can make a little hairspray, also known, I'm gonna call it a tea spray because I was gonna say tonic, but it's not actually a tonic. It doesn't have any medicinal properties, so it's a tea spray. You can make peppermint tea, I guess, if you want, and while you're making it, in a pot, boil vegetable glycerin with the water, and then pour that into your teacup or whatever heat resistant thing you have so the tea can steep, and then you can bottle that and spray it onto your hair occasionally so that the water is actually coming in contact with your hair at all times, and then the vegetable glycerin is going to help all of that moisture and any more moisture stay in your hair. Oh, excuse me. Moving on to normal, also known as medium porosity. For this hair type, you actually fall directly in the middle, which means your hair is easier to, I guess, I don't want to say easier to manage. It takes in a good amount of moisture and it retains a good amount of moisture. It has a good part from both other two extremes. It typically holds styles very well. You can do color treatments with no problem. Your hair typically tends to be shinier, bouncier. It looks healthier, even though it might not be healthier. That's just one of the characteristics of normal porosity hair. Now, that being said, just because you have normal porosity hair, don't get it confused. You still have to take care of your hair. A lot of people gonna walk around like, I have normal porosity hair. I don't have to worry about taking care of my... No. You still have to take care of your hair. Don't just abandon your hair because you have the easy type. Don't do that. Your hair can still fall off. Okay, falling off is a bit harsh. It's not just gonna like fall out your... No, I meant break off. But yeah, normal porosity girls are going to have an easier time dealing with protein treatments, product buildup, because if they use not like super heavy duty oils all the time, but if you use a light oil, your hair is probably going to be able to take in a good amount of those oils, and then whatever's left you can just wash it off. You don't have to worry too much about what shampoo and what conditioner you use, but be wary that some conditioner or shampoo is just not going to be good for your specific hair. Say, for example, I used to use Ren Pure. If you liked using Ren Pure and another natural girl, another normal porosity head says, oh, Ren Pure is not really for me, I like a Diva Curl, then that's okay. There's no restrictions, there's nothing that you have to say where it's like, oh, you have to use this, you're normal porosity, you gotta do this. No, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't care. Your hair is able to take in and retain moisture much easier than the other two porosities. However, that doesn't mean that the occasional steam treatment or the occasional greenhouse effect are not going to be beneficial to you. Especially doing a leave-in, there's still different things that you have to do to make sure that your hair is in the healthiest state possible at all times. Healthy hair. Okay. Healthy hair is easier to manage. Unhealthy hair makes you want to cut it off. Yeah. Let's go with that. I would say if you fall into the normal porosity category, you should be extra vigilant in what you are doing to your hair and what products you are putting into your hair, and actually listening to your hair, because unlike low porosity and high porosity, who will tell you right away they do not like something, normal porosity hair is able to put up with a whole lot more, and because of that, you can damage your hair more. Oh, that's also a thing. It's difficult to do, but it's not impossible to change your hair porosity. It's also possible that your hair porosity level can change on its own, and you're not going to know, and you're just going to have to take another porosity level check to see where it is now. Like if you notice some things that you used to do, your hair no longer likes that, and it's like it's something else, your hair porosity level probably changed. That's normal. Do not panic. Do not freak out. Just make another routine. Something that works for you. Low porosity hair, great. Don't get lazy. Moving on to high porosity hair, which is the exact opposite side of the spectrum. High porosity hair typically is able to get wet extremely easily, but then it dries like that. Like it's super quick. Your hair also doesn't have any problem at all with product buildup, but your hair tends to be on the drier, wispier side, where it feels like your hair, when it was wet, like the curls were just amazing and it was so great and this and that, and then as soon as it's dry, you're just like, oh my gosh, I can start a brush fire on my head. Oh, that's typically high porosity hair. High porosity has the difficulty of maintaining moisture. So all the cuticles or the holes in your hair are open, all of them. So moisture can come in, like just right in, but then it leaves right away. And typically what happens, water has a property where water sticks to water. So if you have moisture coming in to your hair shaft, it's gonna grab all the other surrounding moisture in your hair shaft and leave with it. So your hair is gonna end up being left drier than it was originally, which is the main problem with high porosity hair. Now, quick little disclaimer. If your hair is damaged, and when I say damaged, I mean you burnt it, you killed it, you colored it to death, it's fallen out by the seams, I mean, you just wrecked your hair. You are high porosity. But just because you are high porosity does not mean you have damaged hair. Does that make sense? High porosity hair does not automatically mean unhealthy hair. Not at all. It's just the state of which your hair is naturally in. Tips on how to take care of high porosity hair. Protein treatments are probably going to be your best friend. And the reason for that is, like I said with low porosity, protein molecules, almost the sole purpose of their job in hair shaft, not saying anything else, simply in your hair shaft, is to fill in the gaps. So for high porosity hair, most of your cuticles or gaps are open. So what the protein treatment is going to do is it's going to come in and it's going to help close a good amount of those gaps in your hair. So that means if you do a whole bunch of moisture into your hair at one time and then you do a protein treatment, or while you do your protein treatment, you're steaming your head, then all that moisture that's coming into your hair, the protein is sealing your hair in the process. So that means the moisture in your hair, it's not gonna go anywhere. A little bit's gonna escape because the protein's not gonna, close all of the holes in your hair. But whatever moisture is in there, the protein's gonna help capture a good amount of that. And then to help seal it all off, you want to use a humectant, which is basically any product that's going to allow the moisture to stay in your hair shaft while rejecting excess moisture from the surrounding air. So super heavy duty oils like shea butter, mango butter, cocoa butter, like chocolate, cacao. any heavy duty oil that's like, when it's at room temperature, it's a solid. That's what you're gonna want to use on your hair as a sealant. Get that moisture in, do the protein treatment. You could do a leave-in if you want to. I would say the protein treatment probably is your leave-in unless you have something else. And then top it off with an oil. Your hair is going to be able to suck in that oil, and then the moisture is not going anywhere because oil is hydrophobic. Once that water is within the oil and then your hair is here, you set. You good. I know a lot of high porosity girls that were friends with me in college, where they would talk about their hair was always dry. They were never able to see their curl pattern. It was always like wispy, and they said it was just a ball on their head, which anybody's hair. If you got super curly hair, super kinky, coily hair, you gonna have a fro. It's okay, fros are cute. Don't worry about it. But they said they weren't really happy with it, and that was because they didn't take the appropriate steps to make sure there was moisture staying within their hair shaft. Now, don't get me wrong, at that time, I didn't know either. I was still learning. But now that I know, I'm gonna share it with you. I think that's really it in terms of tips on how to identify your porosity and take care of your take care of your hair. I did mention that you are able to change your hair porosity level. It's not worth a whole nother video, but I do know, if you do some quick little research, if you take, I think it's all moisture based, but if you take the time to actually consistently, say for example you're high porosity, you take the time to consistently steam your head every single day, and you use protein treatments every single day, and you're making sure that your hair is the storage space in my phone ran out, so I had to delete some items to make this video longer. Right, but as I was saying, you can change the porosity level of your hair. You must have extreme dedication to making sure your hair is moisturized at all times. I believe I said protein treatments every day. Don't do that, your hair will break off. But yeah, so long as you make sure that your hair is able to have the maximum amount of moisture in it possible at all given times of the day, you can change it to normal porosity. You can of course go from normal porosity to high porosity, and I think you can go from normal to low porosity, and you can go from low to normal. You can go from low to high if you damage your hair enough, but yeah, I'm not gonna say it's easy. I'm not gonna say I've ever done it. If you don't care that much, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the information I got. Porosity for you guys. If you are starting out natural and you don't know what to do, start with your porosity level and then go from there. I promise you, if I had known what porosity level I was at the very beginning and what it meant, I would not have spent as much money or time on my hair than what I actually did. Because I know a lot of people out there are going to say, well, natural hair, that's the experimental phase. You're going to go through, you're going to try all the products on the shelves, you're going to make all sorts of concoctions, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, I'm going to take care of my hair, and you ain't got not one clue where to start. Your porosity. Your porosity level is where you start. And then you go from there. That's it. That's all I have for you guys. I hope this was wow. Okay, let's try that again. That's all that I have for you guys. I hope this video was very informative. I hope that I was able to help out somebody in figuring out where they need to go in terms of starting. If they're stuck with their hair and they don't have a clue as to why, I hope I helped you figure out that this is what you need to do in order to figure out if your hair is healthy or struggling or whatever. You gotta figure out the porosity level. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, click the like button, turn on your notifications so you know when I post another video. I made so many mess ups in this video. Wow, anyway, click the notifications so that you know when I post new videos, and I will see you guys later. I love y'all.